March 5th. For the record, these meetings are recorded. Do I have a motion for the minutes?
I'll move.
Motion made by Lena, seconded by by John. Any further discussion here or not? All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. We have a site plan waiver for 35 Birch Street. The applicant requests a site plan waiver to allow for an automotive and truck repair operation as the principal use on the subject property. The service and repair operation will be conducted primarily on fleet vehicles. In addition, a truck rental and new truck sales operation will be included as ancillary uses. The Zoning Board of Appeals approved a special permit for the repair operation at its 2/14/13 meeting. There are no new buildings or additions proposed, although the applicant will be enclosing the currently open 10,752 square foot roofed area in the rear of the building to include a 8-service bay. There are no other physical changes to the existing site, and the front parking area of 31 parking spaces along Birch Street will be used for vehicle sales display. All applicable zoning requirements appear to be met, including the provision of more than adequate off-street parking. Therefore, Larry is recommending the requirements of full site plan review be waived. Mike Santoro writes, he has reviewed the site plan for 35 Beach Street, and the only issue at this site is poor drainage at the site drive apron. A catch basin is proposed for the northerly entry that should remedy this problem at the location, but nothing at the other entry. This apron should be regraded and repaved to eliminate the drainage problem there as well. Provided that the above recommendations are addressed, Mike too would approve the waiver of site plan. The Conservation Committee is stating that a filing is not required for this project. The Highway Department has reviewed the above-mentioned amended site plan and offers the following. Both entrances to the property off of Birch Street have substantial puddles after rainstorms and snow melting. The excess water is causing a hazardous icing situation during the winter. The Highway Department sands and scrapes ice from that location various times throughout the winter. It is the department's opinion that it's the property owner's responsibility to correct this problem. All trench permits and road opening, if necessary, must be obtained by the Highway Department at 30 Front Street in Milford. The Commission on Disability has reviewed the plan and offers these 5 comments. The site plan shows 4 undimensionalized accessible parking spaces with 2 undimensionalized access aisles. It is requested that dimensional detail be added showing the spaces and aisles meet or exceed ADA and AAB requirements. There is no accessible parking van accessible signage. It is requested that detail be added indicating permanently affixed accessible signage at each accessible parking space. It is requested that signage be included that which refers to a $125 fine for first offense, which is a Milford bylaw. It is requested that the signposts for signage in 2 and 3 be placed on bollards capable of withstanding vehicle contact. The ramp and landing located at the accessible route from parking to entrance lacks handrails. It is requested that compliant handrails be added to the ramp and landing. If you have any further questions, Mike Nicholson is available. We also have here the decision from the zoning board.
Yeah, there are 6 conditions there, Pat, right, on the last page of the decision.
Excuse me. Let's see, they granted a special permit with the following 6 conditions. There shall be no more than 31 unregistered motor vehicles upon the premises for sale and/or repair at any one time. There shall be no outside repair of vehicles. There shall be no outside storage of motor vehicles, parts, or junk. This special permit relief shall be deemed to run with the applicant and not to run with the land. The fence that currently surrounds the property shall be kept in good condition and repair. Sales shall be permitted only for fleet and commercial type vehicles and trucks. Sales of cars or automobiles shall not be permitted. With that said,
Take it, Peter.
for the record, sir, could you identify yourself?
For the record, my name is Peter Lavoy. I work with Gary and Helnon, and I'm the engineer on this project. With me tonight is the soon owner, Jeff Birchler, and his attorney, Andrew Rubenstein. I addressed all the comments that were in those letters. If you want me to go through them, I can.
Could you specifically just go through Mike's concerns and the 5 concerns of the Commission on Disability you've adequately?
Yes, I've adequately addressed all the handicap issues that were on the
So
project.
you dimensionalized the spots, the spaces as I can see here on the plan?
Yeah, I dimensioned these 4 spaces here.
And in the note, did you put the $125 fine?
Yeah, I added the detail in this location right here. There's a signage detail.
Oh, right there, I'm sorry, okay.
Yep, and then if you look at the, there's also another detail over in the opposite corner.
Okay,
So that also indicates that the signage has to be in a bollard.
okay. And then the railing as well?
And I added the hand railing to this entrance right here, which is the ramp.
I see that, okay. I also see it noted, the handrail to be added to the handicap ramp on the
Correct.
plan.
Yeah, the part about the bollard is, that's something that the applicant should be, whether he wants to or not, it's not part of the, access board regulations or anything else. I mean, it's, if they want to do it.
He's
that's
claiming that, according to this, it's AAB
Hold on.
521 CMR 2364 dated 12706. I'm just.
fine. Yeah,
again,
I understand,
The bollards are to no real concern to me one way or the other,
Right.
so
right.
you added them, so we'll just.
I added them.
No, I know what the purpose is, but you added it on.
Okay.
Mike, can you just address Mike's drainage concerns
Yeah,
as
Mike's-
well as the highway, which are the same?
Which are the same, yep. We have 2 entrances. The north entrance is right here. The Milford Fire Station is right here. What happens is all the runoff from that parking lot, well, not all of it, but some of it, comes down the drive and wraps around, and there's a low point in this area, so we added a shallow catch basin right here. And we're gonna tie that into this existing drain line that comes across right here. And then that's all I did on my previous one, but then I went ahead after I received Mike's comments about the south entrance, which is located here. So this is gonna be regraded. We're gonna cut an opening in the curb that's here, and we're gonna cut in a swale to an 8-inch pipe, PVC pipe in this location, and tie it into this drain manhole. We can't put a catch basin there because of the elevation, because it's so flat out there, so that's why we came up with this idea of grading the,
And Mike's amenable to that?
yes, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he's reviewing.
2, 3, 5, 6.
Questions from the board? Hey, Benetton?
The railings was it a, did you have to put the railings on, or?
Yeah, the slope of the ramp it meets the requirement that you need to have hand railings.
That's all. Motion was granted. Oh,
I just have one quick question, if I may. What type of trucks do you plan on servicing there?
Fleet trucks,
More specifically, I understand that, but box trucks, trailers?
straight jobs, tractors, trailers.
The only reason why I ask is I'm sure you've noted, and there was a problem several months ago with a truck turning around in there, and one of the wires seems to be,
They took wires down.
well, but I think it's not, I don't believe it was the truck's fault as much as I believe it was a low-hanging wire to begin with. So that might be something you may want to address with the utility company, so as not to have further problems in the future. That's just a tidbit because of the type of vehicles that you may be dealing with. So that's my only advice. Oh, you can't miss it, you'll notice it.
Thank you for that.
No, again, it just,
No, it's
I'd rather
because
tell you now.
It's great to know because it's one of those things that you don't come across until you come across it the wrong way.
Precisely. Pleasure of the board.
make a motion, we grant the waiver with the conditions of the zoning board of appeals.
I'll second.
Motion made by Babe to allow the waiver of site plan. Seconded by John. Any further discussion? Hearing not, including the comments relative from the zoning board as well as those from Mike and Commission on Disability. Any further discussion? Hearing not. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Pete, what do you want me to sign this?
Do you want those hard copies?
I need the tree pits.
Good luck, it's gonna be nice to see that.
Yeah, it is.
Picked up a little bit.
Add some life to that area.
It'll be nice.
Good location.
It'll work out well in there.
Yeah, it's nice and roomy, I mean, that's where they fit, that's where they put their bucket trucks, I think, so it's plenty.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect fit.
Larry's got an elastic.
The size is really adequate.
Okay.
The nice flat lot, it's almost too flat.
As we see it,
It's
yeah.
not too flat, it's too low.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
We have a release of conditional approval contract and bond for Dynasty Estates. This letter's from Benchmark Engineering Corp., and they would respectfully request that Fafford Real Estate Development be released from the conditional approval contract for the above-mentioned subdivision. Enclosed for your review and signatures is the release of conditional approval contract form to be recorded at the Worcester Registry of Deeds. All of the work has been completed to the satisfaction of the town engineer, and the roads were acceptable at town meeting on 22 October 2012. Additionally, would request that the remaining bond surety be released as part of this request, so submitted by Don Seaberg of Benchmark Engineering. Mike Santora writes he has reviewed the request for release of the conditional approval contract for the Dynasty Estates subdivision, and since all work is complete and the streets have been accepted as public ways, he recommends approval. He also recommends that the construction performance bond in the amount of $22,000 also be released. Pleasure of the board.
I'll move, it looks like everything's done, anyway.
It has been done since, yeah.
So I'll recommend that the construction performance bond be released and, conditional approval contract for the Dynasty Estates be released.
Motion by John, seconded by Babe. Any further discussion? Here or not? All in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Just send it down, I'll get to that one. We have a street acceptance update, and this is something that we had asked Mike Santora to follow up. And this is for Rock Hill Estates 1 and 2. As stated in his last email, and this is from Mike Santora, town engineer. As stated in my last update, Mr. Noguera stated his intentions of submitting the streets in Rock Hill Farm 1 and 2 subdivisions on his own volition, and that I recommend not seizing the bond at the time, and that I would follow up in 1 month's time. After 1 month, I have contacted Mr. Dean of Garrier and Hanlon, engineer for Mr. Noguera, and Mr. Dean related to me that Mr. Noguera had instructed them to install the bounds and draw the street acceptance plans for submittal. Mr. Dean also stated that drawings of the plans has commenced, but the bounds would not be installed until after snow melted and ground thawed. All of the above is reasonable, and therefore I recommend no action at this time.
Seems
I
fair.
agree. That's
Yeah,
fine.
that's fair.
I guess,
I suggest we,
when do you want to follow up again? I think it's imperative to,
Yeah, I think
if
we
nothing
need to-
else, have another timeline.
Mike said he's gonna follow up 1 month in a month, so.
you say on that letter? or you
No,
say
he
on-
didn't. He just said no
the other
action.
page.
He did, this is the first letter. And then he did follow up in a month. You want to say, I mean, obviously, if they get more snow, I mean, to suggest that to follow up in March would be, I don't think appropriate. So
By the second
April?
meeting in April, you should follow up, I would say.
Well, April's kind of funny shape. The 16th is up here, so
May 1st.
May 1st.
Yeah, May
I want to
1.
do it the first meeting in May.
First meeting in
Which would
May.
be the 7th, May 7th.
That's fine.
Oh, that's my birthday.
Suggestion.
We all sign these?
The release, yeah, I think we all have to sign. I shouldn't have given it, I could have signed it before I gave it.
All right, so if you can just convey that to Mike, Larry, we'd appreciate it.
Got it.
And then we also have an acknowledged zoning referral for 51 East Main Street. And, let's see. This is from the Board of Selectmen, specifically Louis Salazzi. Please be advised that at last evening's meeting, the Board of Selectmen voted unanimously to refer the attached proposed zoning bylaw amendment to the Planning Board for public hearing. And the letter was dated February 4th from the Law Office of David Bertnazzi. Please be advised that this office represents the J. JBD Realty LLC, a Massachusetts limited liability company with an office at 28 West Walnut Street, Milford, Massachusetts. JBD Realty LLC is the owner of record of the premises known as and located at 51 East Main Street, Milford, Worcester County, Massachusetts. Pursuant to the provisions of Mass General Law, Section 40A, subsection 5, I am submitting the enclosed proposed zoning article, proposing an amendment to the zoning bylaw as it relates to this property. Please submit it to the planning board for review as provided by said Section 5. Thank you, David Bertnazzi. And let's see, the proposed zoning article reads, to see if the town will vote to amend the zoning, Milford zoning bylaws to amend the zoning map as follows: to change the existing general residential RA district to neighborhood commercial BCB district, that area owned by JBD Realty LLC in bounds as follows: beginning at the point of the existing RACB zone line at end of James Tullio, said point being 150 feet easterly of the easterly sideline of East Main Street. Thence, south 82 degrees 1609 east, a distance of 96.20 feet along land of said Tullio and land of Joseph A. and Garzelia E. Semino at a point of land of Christopher and Jose Marias. Thence, south 08 degrees 3330 west, a distance of 113.61 feet along land of said Marias to a point of land of Louis and Claire Iannatelli. Thence, north 82 degrees 3648 west, a distance of 92.26 crossing other land of JBD Realty LLC, and along land of Thomas and Jacqueline Kelly. Thence, north 080505 east, a distance of 114.20 feet along an existing RACB zone line to the point of beginning. Said parcel contains an area of 10,903 square feet, more or less, to be rezoned. And this is, what's the actual, no, I know what it is. What's the actual physical address? What's it, 52?
51.
51, okay, so 51 East Main Street. It's right aside of, or almost adjacent to Altieri Court is the piece where, that's looking to be rezoned. In a present configuration, the front part of the parcel is zoned CB. The rear part is zoned RA, and he's looking for the rear part to be rezoned to CB.
So CB.
This would have to be set for a public hearing. The pleasure of the board.
Set the date for the public hearing.
Right.
You want it for the next meeting, Larry? Is that
No, there's not enough time.
not enough time? So the
April-
second,
April 2nd.
that's what, my apologies, that's what I meant. April 2nd meeting? Since
Larry.
it's no longer an election, you can clearly have a public meeting.
Public meeting, oh, okay.
Yeah,
This isn't spot zoning.
No.
No, but
No, I think
Not-
this has
not
been
by
in front of us a
definition.
few times before, at least once that I can remember.
No, but is the abutter notification on this only the paper, Larry? Is that all that's required? Or do they have to send?
thing is,
No, that's just unregistered,
It's
don't they?
sent-
Well, we
thing
do,
is,
we'll do the
it's
abutters.
150 foot long.
Okay. Well, I know the abutters down there have been very vocal in the past. I
People that
certainly don't want,
rezone,
I want them to know about anything that's going on down
same
there.
thing when they wanted to go to Short Street.
That's
and
right.
Prairie Street, and they said that's.
Very well.
it goes
Any
down
other
so
business
far.
that would be discussed?
I had one.
Go ahead.
Seeing how the Board of Selectmen are currently looking at the hiring of a new town engineer, and no one has reached out to this board who works considerably with that person, I was wondering if the board had an interest in sending a letter to the Board of Selectmen saying that we would at least like to be involved in the process to some extent. Not that I expect us to be picking the person, but I would at least like to think that we have some input into that selection.
I don't disagree with you, Joe. I think it's very prudent. I get the sense that the interview process, to my understanding, is gonna be through, I believe, Lou Solazzi and Mike Santora, and then either those two, or they're gonna pass on 2 or 3 individuals to the selectmen for them to make a decision. With that said, I certainly agree with you. I don't know what type of input, if any, that they're even looking for us, or from us.
They may not be, but I.
Because they didn't seemingly have any mechanism to even attempt to include us, or even perhaps, you know, some of the characteristics or the skills that we, as board members, might want to see in the next town engineer. So I don't disagree with your letter, but I think it's a little too late, but not, you know.
Well, considering that the thing, you know, relatively just ended in terms of them getting in resumes, I think we should at least put that in, then it's up to them to do what they want to do. So I would request that we have Larry send a letter to the selectmen saying that we'd like to be involved in the process however they see fit, and that, you know, we think it's important because this board works extensively with that, whoever the person would be.
Yep.
Could you send that letter, Larry, please?
Yeah. I'll do
Sign
that
my name.
tomorrow.
That's a good point.
Do we want to take a vote on it, just so it's officially?
Oh, certainly, I'll
yeah.
take a motion by Joe, seconded by Lena. Any further discussion here or not? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thanks, Larry. Any further business? Anything else? I'll take a motion from Babe to adjourn, seconded by Lena.
Good night, all.
All
John,
in
what do you got
favor?
tonight?
Opposed? Have a good night.